Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, cause it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Yep. What up, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Here we go. After the Super Bowl. It'd actually be kind of fun today because if you don't feel like dog crap, then you can laugh at the other people that do, because there are definitely a lot of people that did not get to bed on time or the way they should have.
The witch did it right. Talking shit about the Super Bowl, not watching it, going to bed early. Good for you.
Yeah, I accidentally nailed it.
Yeah, we even had some people around here that you could see that, watching the Super Bowl or whatever and popping off, sleeping in the back, oversleeping. I ran into Gabe in the hall and he's like,
Super Bowl.
Yeah, and the thing that sucks, a lot of people regret it. Like, why did I stay up for that, man?
Well, you don't know it's going to suck, so it's not your fault that you wrote it out, because you're probably thinking, all right, it's the fourth quarter. Tom Brady's clearly going to throw a 14-point touchdown right here. Something magical is going to happen.
He's going to get 14 points on one touchdown.
Yeah, like something
somehow.
something big's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they play it on Saturday? I mean,
a lot of people have said that. I don't understand why. The only thing I can think is just tradition, because a lot of people have complained about it, said it'd be a lot better. You could have it on later. People could, enjoy their day, their weekend, and they could have a whole day to recover instead of having what you got going on today. I don't know. Maybe, the Super Bowl, they think the fact that people go in on Monday, they get that much extra publicity for the league and for what they do, because then people are at work talking about it. Today, it is a big discussion, good or bad.
You're right.
And so for them, they say, well, if people were at home sleeping on Sunday, then people will be over it by the time they get to work on Monday, and there will be a different topic of discussion.
Marketing Kev. You're right.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
They're probably dragging their feet on it because of that reason. But then, you've got to suffer. And I think the hardest thing for people is you take an invite to a Super Bowl party, and then you're there, good or bad, you're still kind of like, now it's not necessarily about the game. Because like if you're me and I'm home by myself watching the game, and I knew before I was going to go to bed right after the halftime show anyway, that's what I typically do for the Super Bowl, but you would say, this game sucks. I want to see Maroon 5, then I'm going to go to bed. And if that was the case, then, you went to bed last night, I don't know, like 8:30. It wasn't that bad. You're like, okay, you wake up today, and I feel good. And you're like going, oh, the rest of the game sucked? Cool, I'm smart. Look at me. But yeah, when you're at a party,
you're kind of there.
It's going to go to the end of the game. You probably have more cocktails. You're not thinking. You're not watching the time. You go home, and that's the thing of that unforgiving alarm clock on Monday morning. It doesn't care.
It does not.
It does not care that you stayed up too late, or the game sucked, or Maroon 5's Adam Levine looked like he was wearing somebody's draperies. They don't care.
He does. There's so many pictures that his shirt is the same kind of pattern as couches all over America.
Yeah. That may be the best thing that came out of it. Karen from Southeast Toyota in Deerfield Beach said, hey, give some love to the Toyota commercial with a female football player. So she's on there. Wanted to make sure that we mentioned that. It was an inspirational commercial that was on there. A girl who got a scholarship to play football. And it was just kind of like talking and showing like her grind and what she did and the determination of the work and her on the field. And then you go to Twitter and they frame it all and put it in perspective. And like one of the jerky sports hosts named Clay Travis that is on is like going, that's for an NAIA school. Anybody could get a scholarship to an NAIA school. Aww. Big deal.
Poo all over her parade.
He's kind of right. I had a scholarship at an NAIA school.
Oh,
not impressed. And you spent $5 million on that?
It is a lower division of play, but I mean,
if you want to empower us on great female stories, pick a different one, Toyota.
Division I football only.
Harsh up in here.
That was it.
I think it's cool, but I used to get shit from people when they'd find out I'd play NAIA baseball. Oh, you play NAIA? All right, I'll talk to you later, man. Like it was kind of. It's not as good as a
not
division.
respected.
Yeah, I mean, it still can be good without a doubt.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a lower, smaller form of playing.
Yeah. Some of the more inspirational, there's some touching ones. I think Microsoft had one. It was sharing or something like that. I didn't see that. I was in bed. But I saw some comments on that. I think people like a little bit of the breath of fresh air and that commercial. A show to check out, Denise said, The Killer Speaks. Very chilling, but I think Jaybird would love it. It's an A&E show that is on demand on Xfinity. Kevin may like it also. It features the guy who killed Ray Caruth's girlfriend.
Yeah, A&E loves murder more than possibly Netflix. They lead the league in murder
They were the original murder network.
They really were.
It sells. Yeah, people are fascinated by it.
I gotta watch murder early in the day. I cannot watch murder when the sun is starting to go down.
I am obsessed with this one show. It's not on Netflix. It's on the on-demand, one of the networks, I forget, but it's called Your Worst Nightmare. And they take all of these cases and they do a reenactment, but they're really interviewing people of what they went through. And a lot of times it's, someone like a murderer breaking in a house. And it's insane. But the whole time you're watching it, you almost kind of get that anxiety feel.
Yeah, because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in a house. Anybody could break in.
It's pretty good if you like that kind of programming.
Yeah. Well, the problem for me, I don't watch a ton of it, is just for those moments where you are alone and something happens and then your mind just starts running wild with you because you're in, that environment, that situation. Life is scary enough, man. I don't want to deal with it. Yeah, you were telling me the other day about one of Charles Manson's, what was it, one of his little henchwomen
who did kill somebody.
Yeah.
She is I'm not sure how this stuff works. They said the people that are in charge of the parole said she's clear to leave, but it was up to a judge, I believe is what I read, or she's not completely out of the woods yet, but someone's recommending, like, she got past a certain...
The parole board
yes, they're like,
is recommending to let her out?
Yes.
And she murdered?
I believe...
And she got life.
She got life in prison, and now they're trying to get parole because she's like 70-something years of age.
Too bad. So sad. Maybe you shouldn't murder.
Well, keep in mind, she killed a woman who was pregnant. Sharon Tate. They held her down and stabbed her repeatedly.
Screw her. Leave her in jail.
That's pretty much like everybody's, from what I read, people are going, you try to get those lives back from those people. You're lucky you only got life in prison.
Yeah. Life means life, baby. Sorry.
Especially with a crime so heinous. They argue she was 19, came from a broken home, and didn't know what was going on, and she was under the spell of Charles Manson.
19 is an adult. You killed a pregnant woman. Screw you.
That's a fascinating, that story. Oh my gosh.
I can't look at I know the surface details of that story, but what kind of sicko can kill a pregnant woman?
It's just crazy how he was able to get so many people to do what he wanted.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, he was in it. I remember when I was a kid, we were in West Virginia to see my grandparents that were down there. I don't know what we're doing, southern part of the state. West Virginia's got that thing, and they got this big women's prison. And when I was there, one of the Manson chicks escaped.
Really?
Oh, was it Squeaky?
Squeaky Fromme.
Squeaky, yeah.
Is that her name? Squeaky Fromme? Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, she escaped. And we were about a half a mile from the prison.
And I'm pretty sure she's the one that still is like, I love Charlie. He's still great. I think she's still in it.
I think it's Squeaky.
Squeaky. Here,
is that what it is?
I'll Google it.
Yeah, there's something like that. And then, I didn't know a lot about her, but it was one of those kind of like motels that just felt like murder. Have you ever seen the ones they have?
Yes.
They have the cinder blocks that they've painted. Have you ever seen it? Yeah.
Murder hotels stand out so clearly.
Big time.
Motels.
Yeah. Yeah, Squeaky Fromme. Lynette Alice Squeaky Fromme.
So why'd they call her Squeaky?
I don't know. She was the one that tried to assassinate Gerald Ford in 1975.
Okay.
Right before she would murder, she'd go, squeak.
Yeah, she was sentenced to life imprisonment for the attempt.
Horrifying.
She was released on parole in 2009 after serving nearly 34 years. Wow. So, yeah. That's kind of amazing.
She's not the one that wants to get out, though. It's a different one.
Yeah, so, yeah. That was, as a kid, I remember I was hiding from the window the entire night.
I remember the first time I had seen Charles Manson as a kid. He was getting interviewed by Diane Sawyer, and he had the big swastika on his forehead and the long hair, and he kept on going, "What do you mean, woman? That's not what I said, woman." I'm like, oh my gosh, this is fucking freaky.
He's a nutbag.
He's a nutbag.
Yeah, people are fascinated by that stuff. Got a call him out here from J Money from the Ford. He wanted to know when we were doing it today. He missed it, brother. He said my fiance or ex-fiance, 5 years, cheated on me with a married man, then had him thrown in jail when they got caught.
What?
They're a Spanish speaker, so I'd like to do it partly in Spanish as well if possible. Don't worry, though, I won't curse.
How did he get thrown in jail just for cheating?
I don't know.
Not that I'm against it.
Had him thrown in jail? I don't know. That's a great question. We'll have to, J Money, have to get you on and probably tape that one just to make sure. Need a Spanish speaker. He did not swear, right? Yeah, did not swear. I got this, the little wedding friendship dilemma. I'm getting married in March, and my good friend has been acting distant with me since the engagement. She is now saying that she can't come to my wedding. I don't know if it was something I did. It's like she wants nothing to do with me. I thought maybe it was because I had been pretty busy with wedding planning and work, but now I'm noticing that she won't invite me out or even like things on my Facebook. Not sure if I should try anymore or just give up on our friendship.
She's annoyed with you because you're in a relationship and you're in love and you're going a different way now.
But you do need to clearly and specifically ask her what's up. And don't do it aggressively. Don't do it where, like, you haven't been nice to me. What's going on? All you have to do is say, hey, I miss you. I feel like our relationship has changed. What, are you mad at me?
If they were thick as thieves back in the day and all of a sudden you meet somebody and your life starts to change what it was, like the dynamic's going to change. When you get engaged and you start getting married, your life starts to change.
It's true.
And if one person's not going down that avenue, she may not even realize why she's hurt and why she's ignoring you. She's probably so jealous about the whole fact that the olden times are over, baby, and she's having a tough time dealing with it.
Yeah, I think a little conversation.
Yeah, you gotta talk about it though. You can't just say, "Oh, should I cut her off?" That's not the right way to handle it.
Yeah,
because your friend's being immature, but she's being immature because she misses you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a quick conversation, and a lot of times I was one of those people for a very long time, and I have tried to work through my issues with conflict. But a lesson that I have learned that minimal conflict now will alleviate maximum conflict later.
That's true.
So,
and sometimes conflict is
you have to have a little
healthy conflict.
It's good.
You're living in La La Land to think you're going to walk out in the world and have a little conflict.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to things of the heart.
Totally.
Well, and it's good to do it and have that conversation now when it's just feelings. Like you haven't done anything that you got to kind of apologize for being shady about.
No,
and sometimes
you're right.
as you put it off and you don't, then you do things or you do little spiteful, passive-aggressive type things back and forth, and then all of a sudden your conversation is now you apologizing for a lot of, messed up, weird stuff that you did. If you would have had that conversation early in the game, then you wouldn't have gotten to that point. So just jump on it. Have a little conversation. Just be like, hey, here's how I feel. Care about you. Obviously, I care or I wouldn't be emailing a radio show about it.
Right. I miss you, and I want to know what I did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about it.
Yes.
Just talk about it. Isn't that a Limp Bizkit song? Is it just talk about it? Just think about it.
Jay Bird loves Limp Bizkit.
Gosh, I do not.
Oh my gosh,
Does bring him up a lot, doesn't it?
I think it's just think about it,
He
baby.
just did it all for the nookie.
No.
Mm-hmm. This email says, hey, Kev, Virginia, Jay Bird, I found out today through 23andMe that my father is not my biological father. You
Damn.
are not the father.
That's heavy.
I know you've discussed this in the past, so I understand if you don't want to bring it up again. No, we're cool with it because it's happening to a lot of people.
It is. And it's shocking. I mean, if you thought that was your dad and you find out it's not your dad, that is earth-shattering, life-changing.
Mm-hmm. Well, my story is really so messed up. It's got many parts to it. My husband and I submitted our kids over a year ago. I don't have that many first cousins, and one was listed with just the name MB. Well, I asked my mom about her and if she knew who it could be, since I only have one female first cousin. I read her off the surnames this person had, and she said she didn't know who they were. This was over a year ago. I've since brought it up to her and my father several times about this mystery cousin. I'm thinking one of my uncles had an illegitimate child out there that we didn't know about.
You never thought you were the illegitimate child.
Turns out it was me, yep.
Oh,
I was the illegitimate child, yep.
that's heartbreaking.
I got my dad a kit for Christmas trying to help narrow down which side this cousin is from, and I thought it would be cool to have my dad on there as well. Today, my dad stopped by and nonchalantly said his 23andMe results are in. I immediately logged in and accepted his sharing request and started comparing out loud to everyone. Comparing out loud to everyone our ancestry composition similarities and differences. He didn't say a word to me. Then I scrolled down and it says, you have no genetic DNA with ... I thought this was a joke, and I read it out loud thinking my dad or stepmom would pipe up and say that she took the test for him or something, and all he said was, I thought you knew, and that's why you wanted the kit.
Oh. No.
No, I didn't know. I'm sitting here comparing our ancestry composition. My dad said he didn't know for sure, but he didn't care. And no matter what DNA I had, that I was his daughter.
Well, that's sweet, but it's something that she deserves to know the truth on.
Yeah, and she doesn't say, like, who was in the room. Like, who are you reading this off to? You know,
Was her mom there?
I don't know. That's what she doesn't say.
I thought she said the mom was in the room, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think the mom at least was there. So I don't know if it was any other family members.
Well, that DNA testing's really, or that ancestry is really bringing a lot of stuff to light.
So I wonder who the MB is, and then I wonder if you can figure out who your dad is now.
She said after my dad left, I drove down to my mom's house and demanded answers. She made up some BS story and told me his name and a tiny bit about him. She told me she would write down everything she knew about him, but I told her I didn't want it. I don't know if I want it, but I was angry. So now I have a name and a potential way of contacting this man through MB. My question is, should I try to find him, or do I just turn off my 23andMe sharing and let it go? My husband said he would want to know if he had a child out there. Does my biological father deserve to know? My mom claims he has no idea I exist, let alone that I am his daughter.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so torn about this. I never thought that this would happen to me. Never.
Well, here's the deal. It is fresh, and you don't have to make any decisions right now. In fact, you shouldn't make any decisions right now. You should think about this long and hard, and then do whatever your heart tells you.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let it sink in. Think about it. You know.
If you still have these questions in a month, and you really want to know who he is, I think you should.
There's a really good chance that she's gonna want to know who it is.
I think so too.
I've got family members who come that have found out things like that, and they've been told not to even look into it. The curiosity, I think, gets you. When you find out that you have a parent out there, or just a relative out there that you didn't know about until recently in your life, and you're an adult, I think the curiosity is gonna get you, man.
You may want to get a little therapy too in the time being before you go try to find your dad, because this is pretty heavy stuff, and navigating this alone would be a little scary. I don't think it's a bad thing to ask for some professional help navigating all of this.
Yeah.
If you have your health insurance and you can go and talk to somebody and you don't have to pay a lot of money, I mean, I think it's whatever the copay is, it's money well spent.
Well, and I think some people go hoping to find happiness and rainbows on the other end of it. If you go just for the fact that I'm going to get knowledge and I feel like I am able to accept whatever the outcome might be, positive or negative, then, I can go with it. And that is the question. I mean, you talk about, as far as does my biological father deserve to know? I would say yes.
Definitely. Well, if he doesn't know, it's not his fault.
Yeah, he has the right to decide, yes.
Sure.
And you don't know what that story is.
It's about you right now, though. I mean, you want to find out who he is so you can figure your stuff out and figure out who you are. But I definitely think he has a right to know, absolutely. But you really have to put your heart in a proper place and be prepared for him to be mad or be happy or be sad or be elated. Like, you don't know how he's going to come at this. So you kind of have to prepare yourself for anything from him and be okay with anything from him.
Yeah.
You don't need him. You have a man who's claiming you, who says, I don't care what the DNA says, I'm your father. So in that respect, you're very lucky. This is just a bonus dad. If this one works out, great. If it doesn't, you got a dad who loves you and claims you.
So there you go. Let us know, definitely, whatever you decide to do on that. It is fascinating, and I think anybody, people are going into these 23andMe or these DNA tests just, like, this is fun and this is cool and not even thinking about it. And Amanda's like, what did she say? She said, I did not think this would ever be the end result ever. Like, this is not at all, wow, like, what?
It's a blind side.
Yeah,
it's such a
big time.
blind side. But you definitely need to get that list from your mom of all the details about him. I know that it's real fresh right now, but that's probably going to help you find him.
Yep. Got an email, says, Kev, Jaybird, Virginia, all agreed that Bohemian Rhapsody was difficult to sing, but here's my daughter Amanda doing all 8 tracks and singing it well.
Okay, I'm going to turn British and very critical right now.
Sent it by Eric. Yeah, I think we were talking about this song had come up at Cocktails and Karaoke, and everybody knows it and likes it. It's a weird syncopation, and then the melodies and all that stuff is
it's long.
challenging, and it is long, and yep.
That's the thing about is
And
the
notes, the notes are tricky.
Longer karaoke songs, it's hard to carry.
It is.
Longer than like 3 minutes. Yeah, at 3 minutes, you're like, oh boy.
Well, me and Panda did Scenes from an Italian Restaurant one time. That's a 6+ minute song. Or it's a long one. It does. You start to, you're really making karaoke about yourself at that point.
So here we go. Eric, give a little run to Amanda here.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. I'm just a poor boy, I need no sympathy, because I'm easy come, easy go, little.
Yeah, she blended it well. I mean, but imagine.
I can't play the whole song.
How often are you going to get like a whole group? Yeah, I'm sorry. It is a very long song. Yeah, if a group got on stage and was able to blend like this and did Bohemian Rhapsody this way, again, this is her just doing all the different parts, you'd be like, oh, wow, that's amazing. That's impressive. And then maybe you would ride through the whole thing.
Time has come, send shivers down my spine, body's aching all the time.
Yeah, she's got a lovely voice.
Yeah, she does. It's very good. But yeah, I can't imagine like what it would take pentatonics getting on stage.
She nails it, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, she had a great voice. The one song that makes me so pissed. What's that long Janis Joplin song? Is it Me and Bobby McGee? That's 9 fucking minutes long. Oh my gosh.
That does go in a while.
That one is so annoying.
Tracy in Orlando sent in an email. If you don't have it already, Jaybird, something you might want, the Double Dipper Dip Clip Sauce Holder, car vent holder. You go and you get like your sauce right there. There's so much stuff now. My wife's got a couple different things. She's got the clips on the vents. One she has is something that holds your smartphone. So it's kind of a smartphone holder. Another one is like that does...
I bought one of those.
fragrances.
The magnet's not strong enough to
I
hold
know.
up
I
my
had that
Mophie.
too. I had that too. It's cheap
How
ass.
annoying.
That one ain't working.
Why would I even buy something that's not strong enough to hold up my phone? Ugh.
Got that in my car right now, and it did not work. It just keeps sliding down, and then it flips over. Yeah.
Then it falls when you turn.
Well, the thing that pisses me off is obviously they did a quick test run before they put it on the market, and they realized it was a complete abysmal failure and said, put it out.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Doesn't matter. As long as it'll sell.
They got my $20. I'm pissed.
Yeah, that does suck. And that's really a dick move because, obviously they went through and realized it wasn't going to work and they sold it anyway. So, which should be a crime.
It should be.
Come up with a list of things that should be crimes.
I love it.
Well,
that should be a crime.
It's misleading to the consumer.
It is.
So let's class action their ass, Kevin.
Okay.
I think it should be a crime for restaurants. If you don't offer refills for soda, that should be a crime.
There, bam.
I went to a restaurant and you had to pay for. There was no refills. They had the fountain and everything. I'm like, it's such a 1980s way of going about it.
Not cool.
Not cool.
A lot of people have been hitting this up. I recognize the face, but I have not watched The Young and the Restless, YNR.
Yes, so I watched that and I just saw it. The one of my favorite guys on the show, Neil, is the character that he plays on Young and the Restless. He's dead. They found him. He's 52.
Oh, you know he'll come back in a year as a different character.
No. In real life.
I know it's a joke.
Oh. They said no foul play, but they do suspect that alcohol may have played a role. So ironically, on the show, he plays a guy in recovery.
Oh.
Who went through alcoholism, and I think he went through it in his real life.
Life imitating art.
He lost his son.
All right. That's
Yeah, it's pretty heavy stuff.
pretty depressing.
Yeah, Christoph St. John is his name. He was 52 years old.
Neil from Young and the Restless.
Wait a minute. Was he like one of the big dogs?
Good-looking black guy, really cute.
Neil.
Yeah, he's one of the major players.
From like when I was a kid?
He's been on the show for a while.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of those things. You probably recognize
52.
him, yeah.
I mean, that is crazy.
Wow.
I can't imagine what losing a child would do to your mental state.
Sure.
And so, hey, I don't judge.
Well,
You do judge a lot.
Well, I do judge, but
yeah.
I don't judge parents. Put it
Okay.
that way.
I just need to clarify that.
Yeah, because you're very,
And I judge everyone else.
very, very judgy.
The one Planters ad they had last night, some people were talking about that. There was a brief cameo from Charlie Sheen in it. And insanity's happening all around, and he's sitting on a bus stop bench, and he's like, people think, that was crazy. And he looked, very sober and with it,
He looks better now for sure.
Yeah, I think, I think he really has kicked his substances. He looked like a very clear, level-headed dude.
We were watching his old interview, that first one that went, crazy. I'm a warlock.
Tiger blood,
We
yeah.
watched that the other day. Holy shit. It still holds up, that interview.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
He's banging 4 grams of whatever he's saying. He's like, I bang 5 grams of rock together, babe. That's what I do. That's how I roll. He's talking about all this coke and crack, all this shit.
In the interview?
You don't remember this interview?
I don't remember. It's been too long.
Oh my gosh, he's talking about being I'm the warlock.
I remember Warlock and Tiger's Blood, but that's it.
Well, he had a lot of success. He was
Winning.
riding it. TV was, doing great. He, had the drug thing that just, really, it jacks with your perspective on life. And I think, he had that follow-up show that has not worked. I don't think a lot of his projects have worked here recently. And he's one of those people, you talk about people that you would love to see a comeback on. We did with Robert, Downey Jr. And I'd love to see Charlie Sheen come back and start getting some good roles.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for him because of just the movement that's going on. And, you look into his past, he shot his, his fiance. He's got a pretty rough past when it comes to women. So I don't know who's going to, I don't know if someone would give him a shot.
I don't know.
To be quite honest with you.
Well, he's already trying to pine for a 2.5 Men revival.
Let it go, dude.
Yeah, he sees that maybe as being his quick re-entry.
Do you think Chuck Lorre is ever going to be able to put it in the past?
No way.
Probably not.
Chuck's
No way.
get out of my way. I don't need you.
And you almost got to wonder too. The only thing with Charlie Sheen is it seems like, okay, maybe Charlie Sheen is in a good place. Maybe it'd be better if he didn't get the things that kind of had him spiral out of control in the first place. And sometimes fame, money, all those kind of things. Be like, you know what, dude? You're actually better off in your life. You may not think that, but sometimes power and money isn't everything. Maybe you're just better off just chilling and being who you are and living a decent life right now.
There's some people who couldn't handle it. I think he's one that he has a tough time handling the devil's playground.
Yeah, if he got it back, it would be there.
You're right.
Winning. That's what he got. Winning, duh. In that interview.
He was so twinky.
Well, then you know what? People loved it, and I think it just egged them on.
It did.
Yeah, that I'm right.
Well,
People loved it for the wrong reasons, though, and he's
They did.
at that point not in on the joke.
Well, then they gave him the roast on Comedy Central after. He's the man of the hour.
Yeah. So there you go. All righty. Well, if you ever got anything you want to add into the show, send us that email, mail@kvjshow.com, mail@kvjshow.com. You guys enjoy your Super Bowl Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.